All right, you guys are gonna have to let me know if you hear me because I can't tell yet if the sound is there. It seems to be like it's there. Hello. Are you able to hear me? Oh, okay. Cheetah's cooking. Thank you. Really appreciate you making sure or letting me know that you can actually hear me. Awesome. Let me just plug in my microphone really quick. And that should be better. Okay. Awesome. Oh, hello, Hope, Love, and Sunshine. Been a minute since I've seen you here. Always great to have you. Thank you so much. And just be awesome. Well, today's the day for the Sagittarius new moon. How's your new moon going, guys? What have your experiences been like so far? I'm gonna pull up the way to get on the list and paste that in the chat here. And I copy and paste that. But yeah, I'd love to hear how your holiday week is going for those of you who are Americans and how your Sagittarius full new moon is going for those of you that are not Americans. Definitely let me know in the chat. And now I'm going to paste how you get on the list. Let's see. There we go. It's been so peaceful, like a reset button has been hit right on Cheetah's cooking. I love to hear that. Yeah, it definitely, it's had some semblance of that for me too, in certain ways. Hope, love, and sunshine. Thank you. Yes, I missed a couple lives or so, but always still watch all the updates. Thank you so much, Hope, love, and sunshine. There's how you get on the list if you would like to get a live mini reading. What you're going to do is send a payment of $44.44 USD to that PayPal link, and then have your question ready to post when you're called. Don't put your question in the chat before then because we'll be doing a lot of back and forth and chit chat. I do have my cards with me today, so we'll be doing every mini reading will be both chart and a card pull. I've got some oracle cards, but I've also got my tarot decks with me as well. So you're gonna get both. Okay, Sheeta's cooking. I am going to read for you first. Thank you so much for making your payment. I see you have done that. So Sheeta's cooking. If you want to go ahead and post your birth details and your question, you will be first. I'm going to read for Sheeta's cooking, and then it'll be your turn if you decide to jump in. You can definitely ask more than one question if you like. Just send payment for all three questions. But or send them or two questions. You can send your payment to get be on the list more than once is what I'm trying to articulate. And simultaneously, um, I won't be doing partners charts or other people's chart. Like, be the person in the chat that needs the reading. Okay. Don't be like, hey, my friend needs a reading, so here's some money for their chart. Like, let me read. The person who's paying needs to be the person who's getting the reading, is what I'm trying to articulate. Okay, cool. We're gonna set up your chart now. Thank you so much. That is not your chart. Here we go. She does cooking. You should be seeing an image of me setting up your chart now, but let me know if for some reason you don't see it. Charlotte. And we are talking about 5/17, 1982 and 4:31 p.m. Cool. Awesome. Sheeta, you're the only one on the list at the moment. So you'll get the benefit of a little bit of an extended read here. But if anybody else would like to jump in, you absolutely can do that. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. Okay. And your question is, I'd love to see how the Venus and Juno retrograde of 2025 will impact my love life and what's up with my love life in 2025 in general. Oh, such a good question. Okay. Um, I want to get a vibe on how your love life transitioned based on your solar return. So I'm going to start there really quick. Um, where were you when on your birthday this year? Actually, I'm going to look next year. Do you know where you'll be in May 17 of 2025, where your birthday is going to be? Let me know. Because that's going to color your whole year in love, money, work, all of that. Woodland Hills, Cali. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Now I will reset the timer now that I have that info. Okay, so next year, as we get into the spring, you'll see that your love life is very moon governed, which will be interesting because this is going to be a more emotional year in love for you. And because the governor of the seventh will be in the first, much of this is going to be about getting into a state of deep self-love. Thankfully, at the time of your solar return, Venus will not be retrograde anymore. She'll be moving direct. Mars will not be retrograde anymore, also moving direct. I don't think either one of them is going to be out of the retrograde zone, though. So you'll just be cleaning up some things. But I think next year is really going to surprise you because you'll see a trine between the governor of the seventh, your sun, and Uranus. And typically, when Uranus is conjunct the sun, that does tend to be the most surprising day of the year. But because we see that combination at your solar return, and in communication with the moon, this is going to be a very surprising year in love for you. The Juno retrograde for you will take place up here in your work sector and your friendship sector. If there has been anyone from your past that you've been wondering, oh, are they likely to come back? Are we likely to see a revisit of any sort? I'd say yes. It does look like that Juno retrograde is going to square the vertex point of the year for you. Let me just check your natal vertex point. 2 degrees Taurus. Okay, so this will be interesting for you because it does look like there is the potential for someone from your past to be lurking, to be resurfacing, to wanting to come back in some form or fashion. Um, and like this person they'll probably make their way into your life in the first quarter. It does look like they may have something to do with work. Somebody from your work related past showing up, or somebody you've known or you've met through professional settings or networking or something like that. But it could even be like like a work love partnership thing that shows up, and there's a tricky dance it looks like you're gonna have to do between balancing getting the work stuff done and making space for the love parts to flourish, Sheeta. So this seems very exciting in certain ways. In other ways, it might be a little nerve-wracking. I do see that for you, as Jupiter pulls into Cancer in the second half of the year, this is when you're really going to start to see a lot of like pickup and movement in the arena of love. Yeah, the Venus retrograde will be let's just see, it's going to be taking place fourth month. That's 2024. Let's see, 2025. It'll be in the sign of Aries and Pisces. Okay, so it'll be your sixth house, which is service, day-to-day living, and health. The Juno retrograde will have kicked off there as well. So yeah, there is someone related to money, work, and business that it does look like they try to spin the block a little bit. They want to know if there's a second chance. And then we see Jupiter in the house of second marriage or additional marriage showing himself there. So yeah, I would say love looks good. It specifically looks like there's someone coming back in from your past related to work, service, and money. Um, Listen, if you're not going, the timer just went off. My best advice based on this for you is going to be don't let the past and who they were and how you were with them in the past dictate what's going to go on in the present. Like if someone from the past is someone who's still been on your mind and on your heart, and you would like to give it a clean slate, a second chance, that 2025 is that second chance, Rashida. Let me get the cards for you. If anyone would like to get on the list, you can. It would be your turn. Welcome. I'm doing live mini readings today. These live mini readings include a reading of your chart and then a couple of tarot or oracle card pulls, depending upon what you've asked. And you would be next. All you have to do to get on the list is just click this pinned comment up above, make your payment of 44.44 USD to that PayPal address. You would be next on the list. I would love to read for you. Hey, Nikki, welcome. As soon as you make your payment, I'll add you to the list. Sheeta, let me grab the cards for your love life. Okay. So in case you're a deck junkie like me, you like different decks, I am using the Light Seers Tarot for you, Sheeta. It's a really, really beautiful deck, and I'm gonna, if I need clarifiers, I'll pull them from the Rider-Waite. What's coming up for Rashida's love life in 2025? What does she need to know? How should she prepare? What should she stay aware of? We do see a second chance in the astrology. Give us 3 cards for Rashida's love life in 2025. Let's see. There's 1, and there's 2 and 3. I love it. Yeah. Okay. This very much validates what I just shared with you. The 6 of Pentacles reversed was the first one to come out. And the message I got with that is that if there has been any being on the fence or I want it, I don't, giving and then not giving to a connection with you from another person that's then had you become half in, half out. If there's been any of that, the 6 of Pentacles reversed is talking about there being a conclusion to this sort of now you see me, now you don't. The next 2 cards came out together, and we're looking at the Ace of Pentacles and the World card. both of them upright. This is definitely speaking about some sort of concrete, third dimensional, new beginning in the realm of form in love where you can touch it, taste it, see it, smell it, hear it with your own five senses. Does look like it starts off slow. Page of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. It looks like it starts off with some sort of like very small, sort of let's be friends sort of offer. Looks a little casual. It looks like we both know that there's more here than just friends, but as long as you're willing to start slow, that Page of Pentacles turns into like a double-fisted Ace of Pentacles in the fullness of time. So, really good stuff. You have to let us know how it all turns out. And if that resonates, if this person, I'm seeing if they haven't, just psychically, I'm seeing if they haven't already reached out, it does look like you're going to hear from them sometime in the new year as you turn the corner into the new year. Like you might get that sort of like Happy New Year's text. How's it been going? Sort of thing, somebody sliding into your DMs. Or you bump into them at like some sort of holiday gathering sort of thing. But it looks like it's somewhere, the latest I would say would be March of this coming year, but you'll probably at least hear from the person in the first 60 days, is what I'm seeing. Totally resonates. Wow, I'm beautiful reading, Kay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your energy and say, yeah, you're welcome. Beautiful question. I love being able to look at that kind of stuff. She says, I'm blown away. Okay, so it resonated with maybe a situation you're familiar with then. Um, Glad it resonated, Sheeta. Cool. Okay, you would be what we call next on the list today. If you would like to get a reading, all you need to do is make your payment of 44.44 USD right up here to the PayPal link that's there. I will read your chart and then pull a few tarot and oracle cards for you so that you can get a sense of just what's happening in life. What's coming up for you? We can look at 2025. We can look at love or money. As Nikki said, she would like to look at a legal issue. Of course, my insight cannot take the place of a legal expert. I gotta say, readings are for entertainment purposes only. But nevertheless, if you want to look at any of those kinds of things, you absolutely can. We can also look at like school, study, or travel. If you have any of those things coming up, we can look at move and relocation, starting a business. I actually, in my Star Club group, there are surprisingly like no less than 5 people have joined this particular cohort who are all trying to publish books. Um, and they all have different launch plans and appropriate windows based on their chart and their retrogrades for next year. Well, we all have Venus and Juno retrograde. Some of them are going to be more impacted by that, others more impacted by Mars retrograde. And still, there's like one person at least who's going to be heavily impacted by Mercury retrograde. So we have looked at, launch dates for each of them based on the astrology so that they don't get caught up kind of trying to swim upstream and they can work with the energy in a way that's going to be fruitful and conducive. So we can look at launch dates of any major project that you have going on as well, work or business wise, so that you can get the best of next year's transits. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm really looking forward to 2025. There are a lot of really cool things that I see astrologically we're going to get access to through some of the retrogrades and the eclipses. So definitely going to be an interesting year. Sheeta's Cooking says, every reading I've had with you has been spot on and so worth it. If you're called, I would hit that pay button and get your mini reading. K is phenomenal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Rashida. Really awesome to be here with you guys. I love being able to do the live mini readings. It's a lot of fun, especially since my calendar for December, I was going to say July, December has sold out, believe it or not. Like there's 2 1-hour readings left and then two 30-minute readings left, and that's it. I'm really honored and very privileged to be booked in that way. So, being able to do the live mini readings is the way I can be able to still give people access and have conversation and communication, and give people a way to check in without having to book a full-on reading. Um, thank you so much, Hope, Love, and Sunshine. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't read the way everybody does. I'm definitely a bit of a different reader. And simultaneously, I have had people come back to me and say, wow, I didn't want to move. I was hoping you were wrong, but I did end up relocating. Somebody said that on a live last year, um, or last week, as somebody else said, like, you told me my love life was going to go this specific way, and you were really right. Um, I didn't expect that person to come back, but they did, or I didn't expect that person to be back and forth the way they were, but they were. So, yeah, I mean, the stuff you can see is pretty specific. If you want to get on the list, we can definitely look into stuff for you. Jordan B has just jumped on the list, and so has Julia Torres. Would really be awesome to read for you both. Welcome, Jordan B. Please paste your birth details all in one chat and your cue. And then I'll read for Julia T after I read for Jordan. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Welcome, Jordan. Great to have you. That's great, Jordan, but what day? 8:14 a.m. on what day? December 4th, 1980. Hey, happy birthday. You got a birthday coming up in a couple of days here, a few days here. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan, for letting me read for you. Let's see here. December 4th, 1988, 14. I put 41. Let me click and edit that. 8:14 a.m. Gotcha. Oh, welcome, Kylie. Always great to see you, babes. Julia, you're going to be next. So if you would get your question ready to paste when I call your name, that would be perfect. Don't put it in yet because I may have some back and forth with Jordan here. All right. Let me set the timer. Okay. Now, Jordan wants to know, question is about job and career with my solar return, turning 44. 44 was a great year for me. I loved it. Okay, so solar return, let's just go ahead and pull it up. Where will you be at the time of your solar return in a couple of days, few days time? What city and state will you be in, Jordan? Oklahoma City. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's see. December 4th, 2024. Let us see what's going on here. You want to know about work stuff. Let me hit the timer now. Okay, so interesting. I'm not sure what's going on at work at the moment. Things may seem like a little stalled, a little repressed, or like they moved forward and then they paused, or then they didn't move. They went backwards even. It looks like there's could be a little bit of that sense of like things regressing, not going the way they should be. I also see there seems to be a huge lack of clarity at your job going on about several things. It could be about what your role is and what you're supposed to be doing. It could also be about um, kind of like your progress and advancement. Like, can you move forward in this job or not? Are there opportunities or not? I gotta say, it does look like there is forward movement as soon as Jupiter's done retrograding, but that's not done until February. Mercury's done retrograding. Mercury's going to be done in December here, but at the end of the Jupiter retrograde in February, Mercury goes retrograde again in some contentious communication with Neptune. Mercury is the governor of your career sector. This is why Mercury retrogrades can feel so taxing, topsy-turvy, things not always being clear, especially when you've got a Mercury retrograde in any kind of communication with Neptune. You're going to find that this is why there can be a little like lack of clarity at your job. Here's what I would say. If you can ride this out, because it's a paycheck and like who doesn't need money? I mean, unless you're independently wealthy and you have a trust fund and you don't need money and you just work because it fulfills you, then that's a whole different thing. And if you want to quit it, because I don't see anything here that looks like you're getting like your full kind of purpose and mission out of it. What I see here has a lot more to do with some confusion about whether or not you're going to be able to move forward. And I got to say, the first 6 months really look like they sustain this confusion. I'm going to be honest. Even if you were to change jobs, it looks like you hop out of the fire and into the frying pan, so to speak. And so, or out of the frying pan and into the fire, whatever that phrase is, until about May. Once Jupiter and Juno and Venus are done retrograding as governors of your financial sector, once they are done retrograding, this is when there seems to be some level of clarity next year. And like I said, that's not until about May. Juno will still be in the retrograde zone well and truly until November, which is, and yeah, she's retrograde still, even at the beginning of May. So this is why there's going to be some kind of like lots of discussion, probably copious amounts of discussion about your pay. But I do see if you're willing to ride this out, because let's just say you like the job you're at, this Jupiter in the 10th house transit for your solar return year does seem to put you at advantage for a promotion, greater visibility, greater responsibility. The promotion and the title does seem to give you some clout that you might need to job hop as we get into the second half of the year, where it does look like opportunities are going to be significantly better. But for now, if you could do something sort of like just asking for what are the going week to week with the priorities with your boss. Like, okay, I get it. The company is in some sort of flux. My role is uncertain. Your role is uncertain, boss lady. Like, let's just focus on this week's priorities. What has to happen this week? If you can work week to week through this period of chaos and confusion, You're going to start to get broader range responsibilities as the company's clarity clears up around where the company is going, because this truly does look like some level of confusion at the company. You graduate in May, you're not independently wealthy. Okay, so then for this reason, I would say that there seems to be some confusion until about that May, June timeframe. But the back half of the year looks phenomenal, great opportunities, lots of financial compensation as well. I'm going to get my cards for you and pull a little bit of insight, what you need to know about work next year. Okay. Julia, you can go ahead and paste your question now. I love that you're graduating and going to be starting something new. It does look like after this initial period of confusion where it's like, how much can I make? Former career performing. It goes well. I'm gonna tell you that. It goes really, really well. Um, so jump on it. Like take as many opportunities as you can. What does Jordan need to know about his work life in 2025? Thank you for 3 cards. We've got 9 of Cups upright, Hermit reversed, and the 4 of Wands. Yeah, it does look like it goes really well. I'm using the Santa Muerte deck if you want to Google the pictures. But the 9 of Cups in this particular deck has like, normally it's a card of like deep fulfillment. But in this particular deck, the cards are in a treasure chest and they're moving in on an ocean liner and they're empty. But it does look like there is some level of deeper fulfillment. I'm seeing Hermit reversed, you coming out of that period of cocoon for yourself. And then the 4 of Wands upright in this particular deck, normally we see it, happy couples in the 4 of Wands upright. But in this particular deck, we see a woman behind a flower stand who is looking quite wealthy, quite secure, quite content with the way business is going. So I would say, yeah, next year looks very fulfilling for you. When it comes to work, I see 6, bottom of the deck says 6 of Pentacles upright, and this one has a clock, like a cuckoo clock sort of thing. This lets me know that time is really going to be of the essence for you next year, and how you choose to spend your time is really what's going to be the foundation for your fulfillment. But it does look like there's a lot of fulfillment, especially again with that 6 of Pentacles bottom of the deck. If you can just get through the first 6 months of the year, it does look like it's a little confusing. But once you've made it through there, things do look really like smooth sailing. They look really good. So thank you for letting me read for you, Jordan. It was an honor, and good luck with all of it. I do think it's going to go really well for you. Okay, let us take a look now at Julia's chart. I'm going to read for Julia, and then you would be proverbial next. All you need to do to get on the list is drop your payment at the PayPal address here. As you see, I'm doing the one question, one chart mini reading for you. If you've got a question about love, you've got a question about money, career, move, launching a project, housing, any of that, we can have a conversation. Thank you, as always. You're welcome, Jordan. Today I have my cards with me, so I'm adding to every chart reading. I am adding an element around the tarot and oracle. If it seems to be the right thing for people, I'll pull oracle cards depending upon the question. 6:25 a.m. The list is not very long, so if you'd like to get on it, you absolutely can. It would be my pleasure to read the chart and cards for you. Stars and cards. Okay. You set this timer. Julia says, what is happening for me in love rest of 2024 and 2025, please? Great question. Yeah, Jordan, you can definitely pay and do another question. Absolutely. Speaking of solar returns, okay, so first of all, the new moon that we're at right now, that we just had this morning is a big one for you. I see here it happened right on top of Uranus, which is the governor of your seventh house of committed partnership. Ancient ruler is Saturn, and it would have been semi-sextile to natal Saturn. And the Mars retrograde will square loosely one and trine the other loosely, but not really because it's only goes to the 6th degree. Okay. And where are the transiting nodes, natal nodes? Okay. So this is talking about you being in a very particular season of with this particular new moon, these 2 weeks is a great time for you personally to meet someone. There's a lot of opportunity for you to meet someone who kind of like is a needle across the record. Does look like they have a lot of the qualities that you might be have been looking for. It also looks like timing wise, they may be a little inconvenient. Like just, I'm not sure what could be inconvenient about them, but the angles speak to inconvenience. Let me pull up a solar return chart for you so I can see what your vibe is for this whole period of time. Where were you on August 7th of this year? On your birthday of this year, Julia, where were you? Hey, Jordan, I got your payment. Um, you were in Anaheim. Okay, cool. Julia, looking at this and seeing that Mercury and the moon are governors of your love life between now and next August, I want you to pay very careful attention to all of the Mercury retrogrades coming up next year. It does look like you have some sort of potential for somebody from the past to resurface next year. I also think it looks like the new moon periods in particular are going to be very potent. So pay attention to all of the new moons. There's one every month. So mark the dates. It does look like there's some form of love potential that shows itself through the new moons, but then also through the Mercury retrogrades. Let me just get into the end of the first quarter and just see where things have landed. Um, okay. A lot of activity over here in the first house, 2025. Still a lot of activity there. we don't really see a bunch of action for you until the late half of the year. So I would say, generally speaking, next year, love looks number one, option for someone from the past to return, especially during the Mercury retrogrades. Number two, new moons for you in particular are going to be very potent when it comes to love. Also, the second half of the year, so we're talking about Leo season on, when we start to get a lot of activity planetarily in Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. For you, you're going to start to see a lot of movement there. I am seeing astrologically that you are in a period of a significant amount of release this year and next year. So there could be a lot of sense of like letting go of the past stories, past people, getting a lot of the past out of your energy. And it has nothing to do so much with like letting people go as much as vibrationally. It's about being able to neutralize the charge of the memories so that they can't dictate your programming anymore. I see you're in a large space of letting people and things go. So I'm going to go ahead and do your tarot pull. While I do the tarot for her, Jordan, you're welcome to post your second question. Just put your birth details again first for me, so that I'm able to pull your card or pull your chart again. If you would like to get on the list, you can. If you're just joining, welcome. I'm going to read Julia's cards, then I'm going to read Jordan's chart and do question number 2, and then it would be your turn. If you would like to get on the list, you absolutely can. The way to do that is to click that pinned comment at the top of the chat. It has a link to my PayPal. Make your 44.44 USD payment at PayPal. And I will then add you to the list. I'll read your chart. I'll read your cards and charts today. So we have a question for Julia. Talk to us about her love life in 2025. What does she need to know? These three all came out together. I'm pulling from the Light Seers Tarot for you. The Star, the Empress, and Wheel reversed. This is interesting, yeah, because in these cards, it's all women in these particular cards, and it's this is a deck that has animals, women, hands, like people, men, children, but this is all women specifically who are dealing with some sort of trying to make a manifestation come into form in the outside from the world of non-form on the inside. And it's interesting that there's two major arcanas here. This is really reading like a season of graduation for you. Do you have a nodal return happening? Is that why I'm seeing this? It's coming, but not yet. Okay. So this is reading like a season of like graduation where there's real clarity that you've been in the process of trying to manifest and create something, but there's also this sense of it's not yet on earth. It is not yet. It's gestating, but it hasn't come out yet. And so with the wheel reversed, in this particular deck, the wheel, it does speak a bit to time. We have some alpha and omega symbols here. Interesting. Yeah, this speaks to time. And for you, there's a real need. Yeah, all three of these are major arcana. There's something about allowing time to work to your advantage as you're letting things come into form from the third dimension. Even at the bottom of the deck, there's judgment reversed for you. And again, another major arcana. The message that's coming through for you is that the love you want is manifestable, but you need to believe it. I'm not sure what's going on with your belief systems. We could certainly look at that in a private reading, but this is telling me that the more you get in alignment with your belief systems, the more you're going to actually see the third dimension conform to what it is you're believing. So there's a strong message here. Just be thoughtful and mindful about manifestation, especially going back to your chart with Mercury being the governor of your seventh house through August. This is letting me know that your thoughts are coming into form, even if you don't think they are. And so it's really going to be important for you to be, not let yourself fall into bad mental habits when it comes to being negative about yourself and your prospects, being negative about the people around you, but also recognize how much power you actually do have. Like the self-fulfilling prophecy for you is extremely real right now. So this is talking about being intentional, very intentional about what it is that you're allowing to come into form. But for you, yeah, I see could be some form of X. And then the second half of the year is absolutely going to be heavy for you when it comes to love options and opportunities. Thanks for letting me read for you, Julia. Really appreciate that. Thanks for your patience there. Jordan, as you are next on the list. So we're going to do Jordan's second question now. If you would like to get on the list, then all you have to do is click this, where is it? Here. Click that pinned comment. There's a PayPal link of 44.44 USD. I'll read your chart. I'll read your cards, answer your question. We could talk about love. We could talk about a move or a project launch. We could talk about divorce and a right time for that. We could talk about finances and when finances might change or improve, business, getting a business or a book or anything else off the ground. It's your show today. Let me know what you want to talk about and I can read it for you. Let's go ahead and do Jordan's second question. Let me hit start on the timer. What do I need to know about my love life for this solar return? I've been single since 2019. Where's your moon in Scorpio? Okay. Let's see about your solar return. And I think you said you're going to be in Oklahoma with your first question. You know, it's a really interesting time for you. Let me see your natal chart when it comes to love in the now time. Okay, I see it. Because your solar return chart talks a lot about kind of shoring up foundations and releasing people and structures that aren't serving you, cutting those things off. But I'm looking here at your transit chart, and I do see that, but this is more an internal process. The external process is talking more about opportunities for love that are kind of once in a decade showing themselves. So, especially as Jupiter gets into Cancer in the second half of the year and begins to harmoniously aspect the moon, we see Saturn also aspecting the moon. This reads like you're coming into a season of refinement in terms of what it is you want, and a season of opportunity when it comes to those wants being fulfilled. So that's really, really exciting. I gotta say, for you, prospects and opportunities look nearly all the way new after we get out of this Mars retrograde period. So Mars is going to conjunct your vertex point 3 times. Now, again, at the beginning of the retrograde, and then at the end, where Mars comes out as shadow in May. So as a result of this sort of Mars retrograde conjunct your vertex point, there is someone from your past that may have been aspirational for you. Mars is the governor of your 11th house of wish fulfillment in part, who could show themselves over the course of the Mars retrograde. What's interesting about it is that it does look like there is some sort of second chance with this person, but it doesn't look like that's the only person in your energy. With Jupiter and Gemini heading into your 7th house, there's a real potential for there to be another person, potentially somebody not from your past, showing up, wanting to see where things can go for you, having you be a little bit torn until you've made up your mind. But the potential for you in all of this has a lot to do with commitment stabilizing with Saturn trine Moon, Saturn trine Venus. I see you've been trying to get past this place of like dating for dating's sake or just shooting the shit with prospects, and really be in a place of like, no, dating for dating with some purpose. Saturn's really matured you in that way during this season. And so, with that in mind, as Jupiter lands in your 7th house of commitment and partnership, that was the timer, it just went off. Let me give you a timeline for that. You are in a once in 12 year opportunity for love to come, like snuggle up next to you next year. So, it was earlier this year. Let me get to 2025. If you want to get on the list, you can. You would be next. So yeah, I would say by about May, June, July of 2025 is when you're super, like you're already in a love season, but prospects just continue to get better through Jupiter in your 7th house time frame. Just let you know when that ends. Yeah, so right around June of 2026 is when that comes to a close, but this is a once in 12 year season of opportunities where Jupiter's bringing a lot of opportunities into your love life. It does look like some of these opportunities come from your past, at least one of them specifically from childhood, somebody you've known from either places you've lived before, like your old home, like, oh, I used to live in Indianapolis, and somebody from Indianapolis reached out, could be that. Could also be childhood friends or people who just, get in touch on Facebook or whatever. Let's go ahead and pull some cards about your 2025 love life, Jordan. Love this for you. Twenty 25 for Jordan in love. What's the need to know? Okay, I'm being told not to use that deck. Santa Muerte deck it is. What's Jordan need to know? Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Okay, they got real in your business with this deck. Wow, Jordan. The messages are specific. In this deck, the Santa Muerte deck, the Two of Swords, it's a pair of scissors. And it came out upright. The Ace of Wands came out in reverse, right after that. And then the Three of Cups came out upright after that. This is letting me know, and this is part of what was in the solar return chart, because your solar return chart did speak about cutting off some things being a theme for all of next year. Um, this is letting me know that things that have been like sucking the life force out of you being able to have a productive, healthy relationship, you're gonna have to cut it off, especially if it's been Ace of Wands activity only. I'm not going to get into what that means. I think you know what that means, Jordan. But yeah, where Ace of Wands activity has really thwarted, like kept you occupied, but not kept you committed. This is talking about trying to time to bring that to an end so that you're able to have fulfillment and love, especially where there has been this sort of love triangulated energy. People with the Gemini seventh house, all seventh houses have shadow side, right? The Libra seventh house can be a bit, or the Cancer seventh house can be clingy. The Scorpio seventh house can play a lot of power games and jealousy games. The Virgo seventh house can be persnickety and perfectionist. Every seventh house has a shadow side. But the shadow side of the Gemini seventh house in particular is that they are prone to being involved in like love triangles, unfortunately. Either you creating them or somebody else creating them in your world. The only way to get out of that is to have copious amounts of communication, take things real step by step, light side of Gemini rather than that shadow side. But this is specifically telling me that there's potential in 2025 for love triangles. Don't let that be you if what you want is love. This is telling me put an end to any of that unless it's all above board. All three people can sit at the table together like they are in that Three of Cups card and have a drink and it just be fine. If you can get it to be like that, then great. It's all above board. But if you can't, then this is saying you got to cut one person off. Or let yourself be relieved from the triangle, cut yourself out of the triangle. Okay. Um, so that's what I have for you for 2025, Jordan. You have to let me know how that turns out as we get into the year. But yes, list is open. If you would like to get on it, you can certainly do so. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and share with the YouTube community, the main YouTube community that I'm live. So if they would like to get on the list, they can. Oh, Kayla, I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm so happy you're on the list. Let me read for you. Welcome, Kayla. I love seeing your name. Always great to have you. Kayla, go ahead and post your question. And your birth details, and I will read for you as soon as I'm finished posting on the main YouTube channel. Community. Okay. Where is the video link? Oh my goodness. Could this be easier? Yes, it could. Hey, Living Revived. Great to see you. Okay. We just gonna do it like that and come out of there and come back over here. Awesome. Let me reshare screen. Okay. Kansas City, Missouri. 8/25, 1985, 12:23 a.m. Okay. Oh no. Kayla, I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow. Yes, I can see it's you, Kayla. I'm so sorry to hear that you've been going through that. Wow. All right. Let me just see what's happening. The House of Loss is Saturn. Saturn is presently receiving activation from Uranus. Okay. And we do have the upcoming Mercury retrograde, and the Sun is the governor of the fourth. Sorry, Venus retrograde. You said it was your grandmother who left on Thanksgiving, and it was your mother-in-law today. Oh, I'm so sorry. So, wow. It's through the maternal lines, which is here. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Neptune square moon. Some of this for you has a lot to do with getting into a space where you're giving yourself permission to dream bigger. Oftentimes, I've seen when family members depart, oh my gosh, Kayla, you're the Kayla who got proposed to and now you're married. I love this. Yes. Okay. So sometimes I have seen when people propose, not propose, but when people get into like the next season of their capacity to create, we do see elder family members transition to the other side as part of giving them some space to create without the weight their energy in the genetic line. And we certainly see from the house of aspirations, manifestations, truly fulfilled hopes, wishes, and dreams. We do see Neptune speaking to the moon. We see moon as ancient ruler of the fifth house of manifestation, modern day ruler of your financial house. It's interesting, and self-worth and self-esteem. I would take this energy to be indicative of the two of them really saying to you and your spouse that there is ex-mother-in-law got you. There is some level of accessibility to dreams, hopes, and wishes fulfilled, even realities that value you and your ex-spouse in ways that you have not let yourself be valued before. I'm sure you've probably heard that phrase or that saying, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Your freedom, your liberation, your havingness as a woman, as a person of color, these sort of things may not be what they imagined it to be. Freedom for you to imagine, like the way they imagined freedoms that they fought for, you're living them. It just doesn't look like what they thought it would look like. And so I would take this energy to begin the process of shedding, almost like marionette strings, puppeteer strings. What are the family challenges in the genetic line that you have picked up when it comes to limitations in your space? Neptune wants to wash away limitations that have been dictated to you as just the way things are, the way we are, the way it has to be. They're the timer with their departure. And give yourself some permission and grace to say, thank you, but I'm letting that story depart with you. Thank you for taking this story with you. My life gets to be of my own co-creation with God or with Source. So, beautiful opportunity to also say, you dreamed this for me, for yourself, and now I'm living it. I am the living proof that your prayers were answered. It may not look like the way you thought your prayers would be answered, but I am the embodiment of your dream of certain type of either freedom or capacity or havingness. And as you lay them to rest, give yourself permission to thank them for the ways that they have truly shown up and fought for that freedom, even if it's manifest through you in a way that doesn't look like what they may have imagined. You still honor them by saying yes to living that embodied, free, full life. So, really, really beautiful question, Kayla. Thank you for letting me read for you. It's an honor. I'm really sorry to hear about these losses, these transitions that you're experiencing. But know that I'm keeping you, in my prayers and covered in light so that this is an opportunity for your family to expand and spread its wings as the next generation takes the reins. I would also say that there is some interesting energy here. Governor of the house of loss or death, Saturn for you, preparing to move into the 11th house of wish fulfillment. This also really speaks to them being available to you in the realm of spirit. They are in Pisces. Saturn is in Pisces at the moment. So their capacity to assist you from the other side, it does look like it's about to be heightened. And so I would lean into any sort of prayer, ritual, request that you can do to receive their support and help you feel connected to them on the other side. Hey, Izzy, welcome. And because it does look like they want to help, but I see that here. There's some sort of like assistance in the material realm from the spiritual realm with Saturn and Pisces. Saturn is the governor of the house of loss or death. Pisces is the governor of the house of wish fulfillment and the governor of the sign that specifically deals with the non-physical form. But let me just see. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you. The list is open. So if you would like to get on it, doing stars and cards today, just make your payment of 44.44 USD over at that PayPal link. I see Jessica Bonelli has jumped on the list. Jessica B. You would be next after Jessica. The list is fairly short. I'm going to pull this oracle card for Kayla, get her a message, and then it would be your turn after Jessica B. What message does Kayla need to hear about these transitions, her family? Card that came out is card number 18, the Ascension Rainbow Bridge. This is from the, oh, of course. Let me find that book, the Lightworker Oracle deck. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. I thought I brought out all the books and then I left that one. Okay, so card number 18. Let's get it. Okay, you have been growing spiritually and your consciousness is expanding. It is transforming your experience of the material world from something you must control or conquer into a living expression of the radiant divine. As your appreciation and love for the material world becomes more unconditional, so too does the light that can flow into your aura, chakras, and physical body. As you physically expand, you may need more rest, healing, and meditation than usual to integrate this increasing degree of light and the consciousness it awakens within you. As your chakras become stimulated by the increasing influx of spiritual light, a clearing process begins, which supports the consequent expansion of your consciousness. Yeah, that's some of what I was trying to say about the transition that I typically see among elders and when they depart. It's because there's a new consciousness ready to take place in the younger generations, and they take their consciousness with them. It discharges out of the spiritual DNA of the genetic line. Goes on to say this clearing is like a spiritual detoxification. As these blocks are broken down and processed, emotional trauma stored in your organs and nervous system can be released, and your energy field becomes more spacious. This creates room for an increase of spiritual light. This can allow people to see more clearly when they're in your field. You become more powerful. Your energy field continues to clear itself, attracting more spiritual light, becoming more visible beyond physical limits. Let's see. With this comes new insight, awareness, and awakening or deepening of your soul talents, such as healing, clairvoyance, channeling, or telepathy. Your channels are being cleared and activated. So rest, open up, and allow. Be patient and trust in your process. If emotional content arises and you're concerned, you might be falling back into old habits. Don't be afraid. Find ways to express what you're feeling through writing, therapy, dance, music, art, sound, conscious movement. Explore your personal expression to allow for spiritual expansion. This is a moment to cultivate your deepest feelings of spiritual love and peace. Allow the genius of life to flow through you in whatever way it chooses. Internally, you will feel as though you are living a different life, even if your outer world doesn't change radically. Enjoy crossing the rainbow bridge into new consciousness, dear one. You have everything you need. You are ready for this. It is meant to be. So That's what it says about that. That is from the Lightworker Oracle Guidebook from Alana Fairchild. Yes. Hopefully that is giving you an opportunity to feel supported as you step through this. Very powerful and confirming. Right? I would agree. Really glad I could share that with you. Really glad. Awesome, Kayla. Thank you. We're going to go to Jessica B now. Jessica B, you can go ahead and paste your question, doing stars and cards. After I read for Jessica B, it would be your turn. So feel free to jump on the list. Awesome. Thank you for your patience, Jess B. Really excited to read for you. If you would like to jump on the list, all you need to do is send your payment of $44.44 USB to USD, not USB. Different thing you plug in there. To the PayPal link above and the pinned comment, and then it would be your turn. Okay, back. Let's see. There we go. 6, 19, 1982, 12:02 p.m. 6, 1982, 12:02 p.m. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica, again, for your patience. Again, list is open if you'd like to get on it. I could read for you. Okay. So let's see here. What the Venus and Juno retrograde will bring for me in 2025 in my love life? That's a great question. Set the timer. Here we go. All right. So these are springtime retrogrades. So let's get out into spring. And there we are. By the time April hits, we have both of them in full swing. There's Juno retrograde in your third house of short distance travel, siblings, cousins, and neighbors. And we have Venus retrograde in your seventh house of marriage, commitment, and partnership. Venus is the governor, and Juno, they're both the governor of the house of second marriage and long distance travel. Additionally, they are joint governors of your second house of esteem and earned income. Let me just assess this for you. Where is your vertex point? 6 degrees Pisces. Let me just see something. Okay, so it only gets out to that first degree. Okay, Jessica, this looks like you kind of get a bit of a second chance with someone that you have like spun the block with several times. But this particular spin the block, like this is the last time. Like y'all either figure it out and you move forward or you let it go. Like this is the end of it. Um, there seems to be some level of like certainty in you as I look at this energy that like I don't know if you've ever like seen like those poker movies where the people do like high stakes gambling, like the buy-in is something ridiculous, like, just to get to be able to play the game, you got to drop like 50 grand, something like that. The real players only, vibrationally and energetically, based on the way Saturn is trining your natal Venus, coming through that seventh house, the way it's squaring your sun, like you're clocking in with this energy of like real players only. Like, do not come to me with anything less than Jessica, I love you. I want you. You're it. Let's go. If it's anything less than that, I see you being quick to cut people. Like, no, you're not going to be in my space. You're not going to be in I don't have time. I would rather watch reruns of my least favorite comedy show from the 80s than deal with you. Like you have this sort of energy next year about you that seems, yeah, all I can call it is like real players only. Like unless you are coming correctly, do not come at all. And it does seem like there are some people who will want to come correctly. Um, in love in general, looking at next year, Jessica, for you, there is like a serious kind of vibe. And because you're clocking in very seriously about who you are and what you bring to the table and your belief systems and what you want and what you'll tolerate and what you won't, it starts to attract some people from a frequency standpoint that are also very for real. I see here with the way that transit Jupiter, um, it's been talking to your natal Mercury, to your moon. It's going to oppose your natal Juno. It'll cross over your North Node. This is going to open up sort of a sense of like, I'm in my queen era and I'm really only auditioning for kings or, other queens, whatever your preference is. Um, this is going to be this sort of like crossing over for you out of a place where you are, just kind of taking what comes or allowing what unfolds to be what happens. Like, no real, like, your hands are not on the reins. This is where I see you starting to pick up the reins and go, nope, the car has to go this way, or the horses have to go in this direction. It's very chariot upright energy. Um, What's that card with the lion on it? Strength upright energy from the major arcana. It very much looks like that. You. But um let me pull up your beautiful cards here, Jessica, and see what they want to say about your love life in 2025. Being told to use this Rider Waite. So, if you would like to get on the list, you can. You would be next after I'm done reading for Jessica. I'm going to read Jessica's cards and then I would read for you. So if you'd like to get on the list, just drop that 4444 USD over at that PayPal link, read your chart, read your cards. What is what's going on with her inside of 2025 when it comes to love? What does she need to know? What does she need to see? Yeah. What's going on with Jessica in 2025 and love? Well, all three of these came out upright and really kind of speak to what I've shared with you already. Death card upright, Six of Wands upright, Queen of Wands upright. where there is this sort of recognition. And it's interesting because Death upright and Six of Wands upright are both horse riders that are not knights. Um, Death is carrying a flag. Not sure if it's a rose or what. I'd have to research that. And then the Six of Wands upright is carrying a laurel wreath on a staff. And then the Queen of Wands also has a staff here as well. Except for Death, the only one looking out at the viewer. Actually, Death is the only one looking out at the viewer. The other two are like, I'm minding my business. I'm doing my thing. Like, do not come for me unless I send for you. There's boss bitch energy here around your love life. Bottom of the deck, Devil upright, Six of Wands reversed, Empress reversed. Yeah, this is really speaking about you coming into your personal power in your love life. And being in a place where you are directing it and you are calling shots without apology, like no thoughts about. And there's a line in the sand energy here too, where I can see you saying enough. Like I've had enough of the way certain things have played out. I don't care what it takes. I'm putting this energy, this pattern, this way of being, this story that I have been living to bed. I refuse to live a story of disempowerment in love ever again. And this is you really doing what it takes to get back on your throne. So I love to see it, Jessica. This is awesome. Like I said, it does look like there could be somebody lurking, but if they're not singing the right song and making the right noises, Jessica, it looks like you're out. You're having none of it. Um, and I could even see you in this energy going so far as telling them, listen, if you want a second chance with me, you got to do A, B, C, D, and E. This is what it has to look like. I'm not doing anything other than this. But I see you getting into this space with yourself where you're just so clear. Your love life will render in a new way. And this person will either be a part of it or they will not. But the pattern you dealt with someone or someone's plural, the pattern's done. You're cutting it off. I see you cutting that off very clearly, especially as transit Saturn moves into the remainder of your seventh house. I see you really cleaning house big time. So that's what I got, Jessica. Um, very empowering year for you. Very empowering, really exciting. You have to let us know how that resonates next year as we get into the year. But yeah, that's what I have. Okay, so Jessica was on the list. Thank you. Always so helpful. Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully it didn't scare you. But it definitely looked like it was meant like to next year is going to be a very empowering year for you when it comes to your love life. This is open. Like for me to read for you, I can. Send your payment to the pinned PayPal link above. And you'd be next. Does anybody have any collective questions you would like for me to answer while we're here? Happy to do some collective Q&A. Or if you just want to share how your new moon in Sagittarius is going, would love to hear that. Let me close this window. It's gotten a little chilly in my room. Oh my gosh, I just realized I was over here talking to myself. How is your Mars retrograde going, guys? The themes have already been surfacing, but it starts on December 6th, but you would have seen themes of the Mars retrograde, some of the power struggle energy affiliated with the Mars retrograde would have shown itself, this sort of thing. Oh my goodness. We'll take a read now for Jessica M. Samus, Jessica S. Thank you so much, Jessica. Happy to read for you. Thanks, Jessica. I got your payment. What you want to do is place your birth details in the chat along with your question, Jessica, the same way as Jess B did here. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. You did good. Let's see, Ontario, Peterborough, 323, 985. Birth time, 3:34 a.m. Career for this solar return. Great question. Your solar return is coming up. Where will you be at your solar return, Jessica? What location on the planet will you be in? So that I can pull up a solar return chart for you. Still in Peterborough. Okay, perfect. 2025. Let's take a look. Here we go. We hit the timer. Okay, what's this solar return have in store for you? Very interesting. The sun is governor of the midheaven and the house of service, day-to-day living and well-being, conjunct Venus and Neptune. Sorry, Venus and Mercury, both retrograde. Mercury governs house of potential, wish fulfillment. Venus governs the chart. Interesting. And endings. Okay. So this is really talking about this being a year of deeper reflection for you around how you're harnessing, leveraging, and utilizing your personal power and potential. when it comes to your career, your life direction overall, and specifically the things that you allow to perpetuate in your life. There does seem to be some things with Venus and fall in Aries as governor of the house of endings. There does seem to be some things where you start to take a harder stand on allowing them or not allowing them to be a part of your life, especially with Uranus crossing over into this house. I would say there are some things that, for reasons over the course of this year, I see you getting to this place of like, okay, I'm done with that. And you just put it down and you move on. There's a lot of sort of energy for you around like mining for gold, a lot of your spiritual truth, experiential wisdom, things you've gone through over the last several years, I'd say probably from 2020. There's something about this being like a midway point between now and 2030 for you that it's putting on a lot of light bulbs for you around where is my life really going and what am I actually doing and what am I doing next? Um, and getting yourself to a place where you have some clarity, some commitment, but putting down things that get in the way of clarity and commitment. I see you getting to a place of such deep reflection in yourself where you have certain kinds of clarity. Okay, this, and this cannot walk out of can't walk into 2025 with me. Like I have to put these things down. This has to be the last year that I deal with X, Y, and Z. So that's really exciting. I think it's a potent place seeing Pluto here at the base of the chart. It's going to retrograde back and forth. We also see Saturn in square to that natal Uranus, sorry, sextile to that natal Uranus at your solar return. I feel like that's really going to be empowering here for home, family, kids, that whole sector of your life, and getting to a place of, I think it happens really quick for you. Okay. There are a lot of things. I'm gonna change it so that you can see. Um, edit chart point sets. I'm gonna change it so you can see it. But my sense is because of the way Uranus is having such an active energy at the cusp of that seventh, eighth house, there are also relationships that are going to, for you, be in a place where it is just like, yeah, I can't operate this way. And you just put stuff down like left and right. I see you really starting to put some stuff down. Okay, that's our timer. We won't save that. We will save. Um, we will go back to solar return chart. 2025. And you said you're going to be in Peterborough. Okay, yeah. So it must pull it kind of, based on like like the 24 hours before it gets you to your thing. But yeah. Also, I think relationships, because of the way Chiron is sitting so close to the cusp of your seventh house cusp line, I think you pull into a lot of your wisdom when it comes to relationships and partnerships. We see a square between Mars and Chiron. For you, I see you moving into a place where you're starting to look at your own relationship stuff and you jump up a level is what I see happening here on the relationship front. But let me do your cards. Let me do your cards. Most were outer planets. I'm not sure much will change. Um, I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be real surprised. But let me just see. March 23rd in transit for you. While I'm shuffling, what can Jessica expect next year as her solar return hits? She's got a milestone birthday. Yeah, Uranus is playing a huge factor. See it there at the base of your chart in transit. As her solar return hits, what are the major themes? Two other cards. So Jessica's solar return for March 3rd, 2025. What does she need to know? The direction she is heading. Oh, I've never heard that before. That's all right. So one card came out of one deck, but they asked me to then switch decks. So, okay. And there are the other cards. They came right out. Um, okay. 10 of Swords upright from the Light Seers Tarot, Tower reversed from Rider Waite, and then the 5 of Wands upright from the Rider Waite. 8 of Wands reversed, bottom of the deck, Star. Yeah, this particular 10 of Swords, in the Light Seers Tarot, I don't know if you have that deck. Normally with the 10 of Swords, like we see a person who's got like all these swords like in their body, like getting stabbed up. This 10 of Swords shows a woman walking away from the viewer, like into the horizon. And there are 10 crows kind of flying overhead. This to me and the tower reversed, like I'm really seeing you recognizing where it is you have to cut your losses, Jessica. Um, yeah, that's correct. Not much would change with outer planet placements. Where kind of staying in a situation is just going to give you 5 of Wands upright, like just strife upon strife upon strife. With the tower reversed, I'm seeing you get some clarity. Like if I keep feeding this thing, trying to fix it, trying to figure it out, trying to correct it, like I'm going to go down in quicksand with the thing. And so I see you really getting to a place where you're like, I, oh yeah, it's like, and this is actually coming through quite strongly at the moment, that there is some sense of failure you're going to have to confront to let the thing go that isn't meant to be in your next chapter. For you, the message here, especially with the star at the bottom of the deck and the 8 of Wands reversed, this is really about you not letting yourself fall prey to that sort of negative thinking, but instead recognizing the thing that you're putting down that you've let go of, it had no business sustaining in your next chapter in the first place. This is why it was killing you to sustain it to begin with, because it was time for that thing to die. You trying to keep that thing alive was going to kill you in the process. I'm specifically getting that for you. This is a lot about work, things going on in your work life. Um, there could be 1 or 2 relationships like attached to that interpersonal relationship dynamics, but it looks like the relationships continue. They're just in a new format. But whatever this is built around, the thing that you and the other people are doing, that part has to go. So, Um, and it's definitely the message here for you is letting it go isn't failure. It's actually a triumph. It's actually going to liberate you and give you space, give you opportunity to breathe, so that you can walk away with your life. And there's the tears. I know exactly what this is about and have been struggling with the thing I need to put down. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. I know it's hard. But yeah, there's something about this sense of it's time that really seems to show up for you next year. It has something to do with 2025, that it's a milestone birthday for you, the fact that it's midway between 2020 and 2030, and you sort of getting to this sort of, I'm not getting any younger place, and recognizing I have to let this go if I'm going to have any room for anything else. So, wishing you the best of luck with that. Those kinds of transitions are always really bittersweet, Jessica. Thanks for letting me read for you. Okay. If anyone has any other questions, happy to read those. Um, List is open. Um, yeah, oh my goodness. I think a lot of people must be like traveling or offline today since it's a holiday weekend for the Americans. But always great to have you guys. Thank you for being here and for joining. I love doing live mini readings. Definitely wanted to give people the opportunity since the calendar is pretty much full for December and for January. 100%. I don't want to fail my mom who's passed and her legacy, but I know she wants me to move on with my life and live my dreams and build my own legacy. Yeah. There seems to be some wrestling with that. Um, there's a few, I know you're a star clubber, Jessica. There's a few folks in our star club group that do channeling and work with tarot as well. If you are open to receiving that from members of the group, if there are channeled messages for you from your mom about making this transition or spreading your wings, it's a great time to just ask people in the group, like, hey, I could use some encouraging messages from my mom. If anyone's willing to channel, there's some folks who are like handy with the channeled messages and the cards in that group. So might be nice way to take advantage of the talent in the group. But I also understand it's really sensitive to open yourself up, especially when you say, I need encouraging messages. Not every people are people. You know what that means. Not everybody knows what it means. Um, but yeah, if you feel safe enough in the group to receive that, I think you'll find that there are many in the group who would be willing to meet you there. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Jessica. My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. I'm wishing you the best with this. But it does look like you have the whole year to kind of work it through, that it's not a theme that is like, by this time you need to make a decision. It looks like the whole year is sort of this coming to terms with needing to put something down. So that's really beautiful and it's a great opportunity for your growth, and finding new ways to honor your mom. So, okay. The list is open. You would be next. If you decide to get on it, the way to jump on the list is to click on this pinned comment at the top of the chat box there. And there is a PayPal link for 44.44 USD. Since it's a very quiet chat today, I am giving a lot of people extra time to answer their questions, but also looking at solar return charts, looking at pulling cards as well. So it is a very thorough mini reading. I would love to read for you. If you'd like to go next, just go ahead and make your payment and it would be your turn. You have the benefit of most of the Americans being offline today. which is really nice. If you would like to jump on and get a reading, you can definitely do that. Thank you. Thank you. I needed to hear every single words. You're the bestest. I appreciate you. You're welcome. It's an honor to be able to share with you and have you as a member of Star Club, Jessica. Thank you so very much. It's been so much fun to work with you and watch you grow as an astrologer into your own perspective and vantage point on the stars. Really awesome. Super cool. So we might end up wrapping up right at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. I've been here for a couple of hours, but I know most of the Americans are like in the wind, traveling with family, doing holiday stuff. So we might close up shop early today, the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Unless anybody has like a second question or somebody wants to jump in. Jessica, I'm not sure if you're still here, but I would be curious how your new moon in Sagittarius is going. We are halfway through that energy. It peaks today, and then it begins to wane for another week before full moon in Gemini comes in with its energy. Yeah, I'd be very curious how it's going. Watching football and trying to remind myself to breathe with a tight score. Ooh, so that's why I was like, maybe I should close up shop early so I can watch football. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see who's playing. I didn't know you watched football. I love to watch football. Okay, so ooh, are you watching which game are you watching? A lot of chaos, mostly external, but having to support my closest family and my partner. Yeah, I did see that in the Lightworker energy update that a lot of people would be called to step into Chiron's light side for people in their life, like the teaching, the guiding, the leading. Girl, what game are you watching? Let me see. Oh, you must not be watching American football because I'm looking at the American football scores. None of these are tied up. Cardinals and Vikings. Hang on, what does this say here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, girl. Let me go ahead and watch this game with you. I see. Yeah, I knew that was going to be a good game. Okay, well, we have about 2 minutes left. Unless somebody wants to jump on the list, I am going to go enjoy the football here with Miss Jessica Marie on my side. Perfect. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for stopping by, Jessica. It was so much fun to read for you and for everyone. And the other Jessica, Julia, Jordan, Kayla, Rashida. It was the day of the Jays. It was the day of the Jays. So it was a lot of fun to read for all of y'all. Thank you so much for letting me do charts and cards for you. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think we'll kind of wrap up here at the 4 o'clock hour, put a nice bow on it. Thank you. It is going to be a nice football Sunday. I have meditation class in a minute, so we'll do some healings for people, but like starting around 7. But for now, I'm going to go enjoy some football, some snacks, maybe some warm bone broth with some miso soup, kind of get away from some of the heavier American holiday eating I've been doing. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and be on the lookout since the December calendar is pretty much sold out. There's 2 half-hour sessions left. There's 2 1-hour sessions left. If you would like to book them, you absolutely can. But other than that, we're booking in January. There may be one other opportunity for live mini reads in the month of December, around the middle of the month. So be on the lookout for that. And I really look forward to connecting with you on the lives for the Gemini full moon. Take great care, everyone, and bye for now.